we're going to not only sniff, but we're going to also ARP poison and man in the middle so that we can intercept an encrypted login, and we're going to crack that login. What we're going to do is we're going to use Server 2016 as a client. It's going to connect to a Samba server here using SMB, Metasploitable. And then we have this hacker machine, Windows 8. And Windows 8 is going to run Cain enable. And it's going to intercept that login and hopefully crack the password. The password will not be clear text. It will be sent as a challenge handshake. So the password itself will not be sent across the wire, not even encrypted, but instead it will be used to encrypt a challenge, a random string from server to client. But the fact that we can capture the challenge means we can capture the response, means that we can crack it. So that's what we're going to try. So starting out, let's create a user account that we can use in Metasploitable. I am logging into Metasploitable as MSFadmin, enter, with the password MSFadmin, MSFadmin. I am now going to sudo user add Karen. Press enter. And the password for MSFadmin, it's saying, are you sure? Who are you? It's MSFadmin. Okay. So I have created a user called Karen. Okay, fine. I need to set the password. All right. Looks like Karen already existed. Well, it doesn't matter. Let me set Karen's password now. So let me sudo passwd Karen. Who am I? Or rather, what is Karen's new password? It will be just simply password. Password. Enter. Password. Enter. Okay. When I sudo cat /etc/passwd, press enter, I'm going to press Control Alt. I can see here's Karen. She's right there. That's her username. And when I sudo cat /etc/shadow, press enter, Control Alt, here is Karen's password stored as a hash. Now, that's just how it's stored here on this operating system. This hash is not going to be sent across the wire. When we do system hacking, we can play with this part. So anyway, I've got a user, and I'm going to make a connection. So let me just now go over to the client side. Now, and actually, just really quick, let's make sure we know what the IP address for Metasploitable is. Let's ifconfig, enter. And the IP address is still 192.168.75.131. As you power these VMs up and down, that may change, but it's good to double check. Okay, so 192.168.75.131 is the server. Server 2016 is the client. So let's come over here, let's click Start, and we want the run line. We'll just type run, and we'll find run, click run. This is the good old run line here. And we'll put in it / 192.168.75.131. Press enter. And what we hope to see is the challenge saying, please log in. So in a moment, we're going to log in as Karen with a password of password. All right, I'll close this for just a moment, and I'm coming over to the hacker now. So let's right-click Cain on the attacker machine, Windows 8, right-click, and run as administrator. And say yes to user account control. Windows 8 has some security settings, so some of the features of Cain will not run, but the ones we care about will run, so that'll be fine. The first thing to do is to click the sniffer tab. Click the sniffer tab here, and sometimes the sniffer tab will prompt us. We might come up with some kind of warning message where we have to run a netshell command, a netsh command. If you get a pop-up warning saying run a command, netsh int IP int something, run that command. We don't have it at the moment, but if you ever see it, let me see if I don't, here it is here. I just have this handy. You might get a pop-up warning from Cain saying you need to run this command right here, netsh, which is netshell, int IP set global task offload equals disabled. If you get that, please open a command prompt and run this command and get the OK. It's already been done, so we don't have to type it now, but you might get this, and don't disregard that if it comes up. All right. So we've got our sniffer running, and so now the thing to do is we need to find all the hosts on the network. So we need to go over to the sniffer tab because it's on the decoder tab. Now let's go to the sniffer tab, click the sniffer tab. And you may or may not see hosts, but if you don't see anything, come up here and click the little plus sign. Click the plus sign and run an ARP test. Just one of them is fine. And click OK. So all hosts in the subnet, make sure it's a whole subnet. Click one of these ARP tests, probably all that matters. Click OK. And it's going to do an ARP scan to turn up all of the IP and MAC address mappings. We need that. So it's running. All right. And it will show whatever they are. Okay, so we have that. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to make sure that we're poisoning. So we're going to click the poisoner right here, up here. Sort of looks like some little kind of hazard sign or something. Click Start Stop the APR, which is the ARP poisoner. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come down to the poisoning tab, the APR tab down here. We're going to click that. Now, you may or may not see any poisoning here. I'm just going to remove these right now so that we start out with nothing. Okay, so you may see nothing here. If you see nothing, then what you do is you come back to the hosts over here, and you make sure that the two hosts that you want, 16 and 131, are here, that you've found them. So make sure that you've got them. So we want to make sure that we have them. And if you have to, you can scan or whatever, but we don't need to. They're here. So let's come back to the poisoner down here, the poisoning tab. And what you're going to do is once you got that, you're going to, in this blank space up here, right click. And actually, you're going to select in the blank space. And you're going to come up and you're going to click the little plus sign, add to list. Because this little plus sign changes its purpose depending upon where you're at. So we click in this space here and we come to the plus sign, click the plus sign. So now here's where we have to have 16 selected on one side and 131 on the other side. Have like server 2016 on one side, Metasploitable on the other side. So we'll click 16, 192.168 was 75.16. That is server 2016, the client. And on this side, you don't have to hold the control key or anything. Click 131. So you can see it's highlighted. If you look really closely, 16 is highlighted and so is 131. Click OK. And give it a moment and it will start to poison. Well, we have to click the little start poisoning. So start the poison. So make sure that the sniffer and the start poison are selected and you're on the poisoner tab. And in a moment, you'll see poisoning between 16, if we scroll over, and 131. Now the poisoning means that we are telling each of them that the other guy's MAC address is our hacker MAC address, so that they will be sending packets to us. We're acting as a monkey in the middle, a man in the middle. So we're poisoning now. Okay, great. So now the thing to do is to actually have the session. Now, with some operating systems, you can click this little downgrade button. When you click this downgrade button, what you're doing is you're telling the hosts to use the weakest, lowest level authentication protocol that you can, because it's easier to crack. We can try it. Server 2016 might object. We'll find out. Let's click downgrade, the little down arrow, NTLM auth. Let's click it. And now let's try to make a connection between 2016 and Metasploitable, which is the server. So we're going to try that. So over here on 2016, I'm typing run to get the run line. Well, I'm clicked in. Let me click in actually and type run. Run. I get the run line. Let me click the run line and let me go to / 192.168.75.131. Press enter. Okay, see this error message here? It's not that we can't reach that guy, because we can prove we can reach him by pinging, right? So let me open a command prompt and let me ping. Let me ping 192.168.75.131. Press enter. Yeah, we're pinging okay. So this error message saying Windows cannot access, check the spelling of the name, otherwise there might be a problem with your network. That's probably because our downgrade NTLM Server 2016 doesn't like it. So let's cancel. Let's come back over to Kane and tell it to stop downgrading. And let's try to make a connection again. So I unchecked, or I unpressed the NTLM off downgrade button. Let me go back to the client and let me bring up a run line again. If I can keep my mouse in there. Bring up the run line again, and again I'm going to connect to this guy. And okay, that's what I expect to see. So let's log in as Karen with the password of password, lowercase. Click OK. And whether this succeeds or fails actually is not important. Okay, it says that there's a problem with the password. Actually, we don't care. It's probably a permissions or something on that share. We actually don't care. What we care about is the fact that we captured a password authentication attempt. Now you can see here in the poisoning that we actually captured some packets. You see packets to and from? We actually captured some. That is good. So let's go over now down to the passwords tab down below. Click the passwords tab down below. Gotta click it. And you can see when you scroll over that Karen attempted to log in from Server 2016 to 131. Karen tried to log in. We can also see that Karen tried to log in using NTLM version 2. Okay, well, let's see if we can crack this password now. So we captured it. And we probably only care about this one right here, the Karen login. So we're going to right-click Karen's login and we're going to send to Cracker. Click Send to Cracker. Now we have to come up to the Cracker tab. Come to the Cracker tab right here. And if you look on the left-hand side, you can see that there are some NTLM v2 hashes. Click that. And here's the one for Karen. We don't know the password yet. We can see the challenge handshake. So we can see the server challenge, and we can see the client, and we can see what this client sent over as an NTLM hash. So what we do now is we right-click, and we try to do a dictionary attack on it. So we right-click Karen, dictionary attack. Now, the key here is that you actually have to have a dictionary. Let me just remove this, just because ordinarily you wouldn't see anything. So what you do here is a dictionary attack, of course, has a big list of possible passwords, and we go through the list, and we hope that the password is in the list. So we will right-click in this space here, and we will click Add to List. Add to List. So we're going to choose a dictionary. Now, Kane, if you look in Program Files and you look in Kane, there is a folder called Word Lists, and if we open up Word Lists, there is a folder, a dictionary called Word List. We'll click it, and we'll click Open. Now, where is this physically? Out in the attacker machine. Go out to File Explorer and go to Computer, go to the C drive, go to Program Files x86, go to Kane, go to Word Lists, and there it is there. And if we open it up, this is a word list of a whole bunch of passwords, and we're going to pray, we're going to hope and pray that Karen's password, which although we're doing it white box, we do know Karen's password, but if we were the hacker, normally we would not know. We're going to pray that Karen's password is in that dictionary. So we've loaded a dictionary, and we are ready to let it rip. So let's click Start. It'll take a little while to go through the whole thing. You can see it's going through 4%, 5%. So I'm going to pause this and come back when either we've found the password or we've gone through the whole dictionary and have not found the password. It found it. So we can see the plain text of user Karen is password. The attack is stopped. 1 of 1 hash is cracked. And that is how you do a man in the middle to capture the challenge handshake of a Windows type logon and crack the password using Kane and Abel.